So now let's talk about the client-server pattern. This is also sometimes referred to again as the client-server model. But the client-server pattern is a pattern that we have all used before. And a lot of you might look at this and be like, wait, that's a pattern? That's something we can learn about? That just sounded like common knowledge. But yes, it's a pattern. It's a way that things are set up. So with the client-server pattern, what we have is we have a central server. So for example, we'll have let's keep with the color scheme of this little image on the right here. So we have a server right here. And then we have clients that contact this server for information. So we have little clients here and there. So let's go with the color scheme here. So we have client, 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 client. And they all ask the server for information. The server then distributes that information back to, back to the clients. So requests come in and the server distributes the requests back out. And this is how basically the entirety of the internet works. If you go to facebook.com, you contact the Facebook server. So this, for example, could be Facebook. You contact the Facebook server, you ask it for a whole bunch of information, and it gives you every single piece of information. It gives you, for example, the newest updates on your timeline. It gives you the HTML so that you can load the web page. It gives you all of the images. It tells you where everything is at, and it actually sends you that data. And every time you update a page, every time you go to a new page, a new request is sent to the server, and a new response comes back from the server. And so why this is a pattern is it's because it's a way that we can all connect to a central piece of data or a central hub of information. Let's say that a good way to sort of explain this is on a game server. If, for example, you're playing an online game like Call of Duty or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds or Fortnite, all of those games, you are all playing on the exact same time, on the same server. And this is where a lot of people understand. They've heard the word server before. So you have all of these people, and they're all playing the game at the exact same time. Now, what the server is doing is it's calculating everything. It's taking in information, so it's taking in every maybe second or maybe even every 10 times a second. I don't know how many times it updates the server. Your client, your computer, is sending the server your location, how fast you're moving, what items you have, and the server is updating its little data log with all of that stuff. It then takes that data and it sends it to each of the clients every X number of milliseconds or seconds. And this way, when you're playing your game, if someone walks into, so for example, let's say this is the map in the game, you're right here. If someone walks into your vision, you get a message that tells your computer where his location is at. This helps because this now allows your computer to render or to show that other person in real time. So you request, it sends, you request, it sends, and there's 100 or 200 people doing it at the exact same time, and that's what builds the map and allows everyone to run around. Now, if you ever have server lag, if there's ever a lag in game, that's because this is taking too long. You ask for data, and then by the time the data gets back to you, that person has already moved really far forward. So now your computer tries to display them here, and then it gets another message that no, the person's actually way up here. So they lag across the screen. And that is a common downfall if your server's too slow, is that the clients can't get the information. But the client-server pattern is a pretty simple pattern that, again, we all use. It just has a central server, and you have a whole bunch of clients that all have maybe client software that contacts this server, which usually has server software. So there's usually two types. You have the server software, and then down here you have the client software on each of these clients. Request data, and then the data is sent back.